this second video in our training series, we will show you each step of the ear piercing process, including a review of the piercing supplies you will need, the steps to take before you begin the ear piercing process, and finally, how to pierce with the Inverness system. Before we show you how to pierce ears with the Inverness system, let's review the supplies you will need each time you perform an ear piercing. 1 pair of sterilized piercing earrings, your Inverness piercing instrument, a surgical marking pen, 2 packages of alcohol towelettes, a mirror, a fresh pair of single-use disposable gloves, soap or hand sanitizer for cleansing your hands prior to piercing, the release authorization form, aftercare instructions for review, and ear care solution for your customer to take home. To begin the ear piercing process, have your customer choose and pay for their piercing earrings and ear care solution. Next, have your customer review, fill out, and sign the release authorization form. If your customer is under the age of consent for your area, they will need to have a parent or legal guardian present to sign the form. While your customer is confirming the release form, you can use the time to assemble your piercing supplies on your clean work surface. After your customer is seated, cleanse your hands and put on a new pair of disposable gloves. Before you open the piercing earring cassette, you will need to check both of your customer's ears for keloid scar tissue. A keloid will feel like a small, hard ball inside the earlobe. If the ears are clear, you can proceed with the piercing. If you do find possible keloid scar tissue, stop the ear piercing and recommend your customer visit their doctor for confirmation, since ears with keloid tissue should not be pierced. After you have completed the ear piercing preparation, you are ready to pierce your customer's ears. Still wearing your disposable gloves, thoroughly cleanse the front and back of the customer's ears with an alcohol prep pad. Allow the ears to air dry before making placement dots. While waiting for the cleansed ears to air dry, use the time to review aftercare instructions with your customer and load your piercing instrument. To load the instrument, first peel the seal completely off the cassette compartment. Take out the earring cartridge and load it into the instrument. You should hear the cartridge click into place. Dotting the ears with your Inverness surgical marking pen is a key step in the ear piercing process. For accurate earring placement, you want to look at the size and shape of each ear. To find the ideal location for the first piercing, follow the natural line of the ear and imagine a circle in the center of the earlobe. A first earlobe piercing should be located in the center of that circle. Start by placing a small dot on the first ear. Have the customer approve that dot by looking in the mirror before placing a matching dot on the other ear. Make sure your customer approves the dots on both ears before piercing. If the customer is unhappy with your first placement dots, simply use an alcohol towelette to wipe off the dots. Once the ears are dry, start again. For best piercing placement, stand directly in front of your customer with your shoulders squared off with theirs. Hold the instrument firmly in your dominant hand with the handle in your palm and your index finger securely over the top. Position the instrument against the back of the ear and use your other hand to hold the ear for stability. For extra support, place your finger against the back of the instrument. Use firm and even pressure to slowly push the inner capsule out of the cartridge toward the dot marked on the ear. Make sure the end of the capsule is lined up to or touching the dot. The instrument should be level and parallel to the face. Do not expose the metal piercing post prior to piercing. Doing this can cause the earring to go off course and can result in a missed piercing. Once you have the end of the capsule lined up on the dot, pierce by quickly and firmly depressing the handle until it can go no further and the piercing earring engages with the safety back. Once you have depressed the handle completely, continue to hold the handle firmly for a silent count of 3. This will give you a solid follow-through and ensure that the tab on the cartridge snaps off and releases the earring back. After you count to 3, release the handle slowly while looking carefully to make sure the piercing is complete. While still holding the ear, carefully move the instrument. first down and then away from your customer. To pierce the second ear, continue standing in front of the customer. Pierce as usual with your dominant hand. Your piercing is now complete. Be sure to provide a mirror to your customer to show them their newly pierced ears. After your customer leaves, press the button on the bottom of your instrument and eject the used cartridges directly into the trash and clean up your workspace. That's it! As you can see, piercing ears with the Inverness system is safe, gentle, and easy. The next videos in our series will cover what to expect and how to care for newly pierced ears, and piercing tips and tricks from Inverness pros. Thanks so much for joining us.